Ladies and gentlemen, if my electric current kills, then I deserve to be its victim myself.
These machines proved to be non-cost-effective as aerial vehicles and never got beyond prototype stage.
They cured cancer in 1934, but no one talks about it. Devices that defied gravity, cars that ran on water, and energy pulled straight from thin air, all vanished, buried, or banned.
Developed the water fuel cell as a retrofit energy systems to conventional cars.
Every time someone got close to breaking the system, they were shut down, hard. And get this, one man used frequency to wipe out cancer cells, and then his lab mysteriously burned down. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything you thought you knew. If this kind of content excites you, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications as we dive into this type of content daily. Number 20. WASP X-Jet. Back in the 1970s, the US thought it had found the future of solo flight. Williams International rolled out the X-Jet, also known as the WASP, a strange, almost sci-fi looking platform designed to hover, spin, and drift with ease. Powered by a small turbofan engine cranking out 670 pounds of thrust, it was meant to carry one pilot into battle zones, reconnaissance missions, or tricky extractions. No wings, no wheels, just you, a joystick, and a jet. It could reach speeds up to 60 miles per hour and fly for around 30 minutes. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the twist. The thing was nearly impossible to steer. Testers said it handled like a drunk elephant on roller skates. Not exactly military material. The US Army passed, opting instead for helicopters and drones. No conspiracy here, just physics and practicality. Still, it's hard not to wonder. A vertical takeoff machine with that kind of promise, shelved after a few test runs? The blueprints are still out there collecting dust. And while the story officially ends with "it didn't work," some believe the X-Jet was just too wild for its time. However, it wasn't as visionary as Tesla's tower. But before we hit that point, go ahead and slam that subscribe button with force. Now let's move on. Number 19. Nikola Tesla's free energy. Nikola Tesla wasn't just playing with coils and currents. He wanted to light up the world for free. His big move? The Wardenclyffe Tower in New York. Built in 1901 with funding from J.P. Morgan, Tesla's tower wasn't just for radio. It was a blueprint to beam electricity through the air, straight into homes and machines. No wires, no bills, just pure energy pulled from the earth itself. But then came the rug pull. When Morgan found out Tesla's plan was to give energy away without profit, the money dried up. The tower was left unfinished, and Tesla's dream faded with it. Some say it was about economics. Others claim big industry saw a threat and buried him. After all, free energy doesn't sell. Then, in 1943, when Tesla died alone in a hotel room, the US government seized his papers. They said it was national security, but people still whisper, did Tesla crack the energy code and get shut down? His notes remain classified, his vision still unsolved. What exactly did he discover up in that tower? Number 18. Stanley Meyers' water car. Stanley Meyer rolled out something crazy in the 1990s, a car that ran on water. Not gas, not electricity, just regular H2O. His water fuel cell supposedly split water into hydrogen and oxygen using low power. That hydrogen? Boom. Fuel. He even claimed his dune buggy could cross the US on 20 gallons of water. Reporters came, investors circled. And Meyer? He got patents, like US Patent 4,936,961. But then scientists stepped in, saying the whole thing violated the laws of physics. Courts ruled it a fraud. And just when the world forgot, Meyer dropped dead. In 1998, after a restaurant meeting, he ran outside, clutching his throat, and collapsed. Last words? They poisoned me. Official cause? Brain aneurysm. No toxins found. But the rumors stuck. Was he silenced by big oil? Or was it just hype gone wrong? To this day, no one's replicated his system. No one's driven coast to coast on tap water. But the footage of that buggy still sparks questions. A hoax? Maybe. But maybe, just maybe, someone didn't want it to work. Number 17. Royal Reich's Beam Ray. Royal Raymond Reich wasn't just ahead of his time. Some say he was erased from it. In the 1930s, Reich built the universal microscope, said to magnify over 60,000 times, way beyond what anyone else had. He claimed it let him see live viruses and identify what he called the cancer virus. But he didn't stop there. Reich created the beam ray machine to target these pathogens using their own frequency. Zap the right frequency, kill the disease, no drugs, no surgery. In 1934, reports said all 16 cancer patients in a trial improved, 14 fully recovered within 90 days. Miracle? Possibly. But it wasn't long before labs were raided, equipment vanished, and allies were dragged to court. Reich's reputation crumbled. He died quietly in 1971. But the whispers never stopped. Some say Big Pharma shut him down. There's no money in a cure after all. His machine is still reimagined by believers today, sold in dark corners of the internet. Is it pseudoscience? Or did Reich tap into something that threatened an empire? Number 16. Henry Moray's Radiant Energy Device. Thomas Henry Moray, a soft-spoken engineer from Utah, claimed he cracked the code in the 1920s. His radiant energy device didn't need oil, sun, or wind. It pulled energy straight from the cosmos, what he called radiant energy. His invention could supposedly light up bulbs and power appliances without any visible power source. Eyewitnesses said they saw it. Glowing lights, running fans, all powered by air. Moray said the secret was his custom-built valve, a weird blend of semiconductors and even radioactive materials. It allowed energy to flow in, but not out. In 1939, government engineers took a look. One even smashed the device with a sledgehammer after a dispute. Why? That part's murky. Moray's lab was raided. He was shot at. He tried to patent the machine but kept getting denied. Too advanced, they said. Too impossible. Was it sabotage or science fiction? Moray died in 1974, leaving behind a machine no one could quite explain or recreate. But those who saw it, they still swear it worked. Number 15. Wilhelm Reich's Orona energy. Wilhelm Reich believed he found the energy of life itself, orgone. According to Reich, this invisible force surrounded us, filled the air, and even explained why the sky is blue. He built a box called the orgone accumulator, a metal-lined structure that collected this energy. People sat in it, claiming it healed wounds, eased pain, maybe even cured cancer. In the 1940s and 50s, Reich moved to the United States and started gaining followers, but the FDA wasn't impressed. They said there was no proof. In 1954, they ordered Reich to stop everything. Books burned, devices destroyed. Reich refused. That refusal landed him in prison. He died there in 1957. Some say he was a quack. Others think he was silenced because his work couldn't be patented or monetized. Today, orgone boxes still exist, tucked away in wellness communities and basements. Science calls it nonsense. But for a man who claimed he could control clouds and heal the sick, Reich's story didn't just end in court. It sparked a movement that refuses to die. Number 14. Townsend Brown's anti-gravity discs. Thomas Townsend Brown believed electricity and gravity were linked, and he wanted to prove it. In the 1920s, he started playing with high-voltage discs. When powered, they tilted and floated. Brown said he had found electrogravitics, a force that could beat gravity. By 1952, he demonstrated his tech to military brass. 2 charged discs spun on their own, lifting slightly. Anti-gravity, right? Not so fast. Skeptics said it was just ion wind, electric charge pushing air, not physics-defying propulsion. Brown insisted otherwise, claiming even vacuum tests showed movement. But the military walked away. His patents were real, his ambition even bigger. Yet his devices never made it out of the lab. Some say the government buried the research. Others say it just didn't work. Brown died in 1985. His legacy split between believers and doubters. Today, hobbyists still build lifters in his name, hoping to crack what he claimed to start. But anti-gravity? Still grounded, for now. Number 13. John Surls SEG. John Searle was no ordinary tinkerer. In post-war England, he started building strange machines with spinning magnets and wild claims. His invention? The Searle effect generator, SEG, a stack of magnetic rollers around metallic rings. When powered up, it supposedly created free energy and lift, as in levitation. Searle said it worked, claimed the SEG produced its own field that defied gravity. He even showed off flying discs in the 1960s and 70s. Some locals called them UFOs, others called them magic tricks. But then things turned dark. His house burned down, his research vanished. He moved to the US and tried to rebuild. Still no mainstream acceptance. Scientists dismissed it all, no theory, no proof. But believers still chase it. They say oil interests crushed him, that Searle's machine threatened billion-dollar industries. He was jailed, mocked, erased, yet he kept building. Even today, videos of SEG prototypes circle the web. Glitchy, glowing, floating contraptions. Real, or just magnets and misdirection? The SEG remains a mystery machine. Number 12. GM's EV1. In the late 1990s, GM rolled out something radical, the EV1, a sleek, fast, all-electric car. No tailpipe, no gas, zero emissions. It had a small cult following in California and Arizona, where it was lease-only. Early versions ran 55 miles on a charge, later ones over 100. Not bad for 1996. The drivers loved it. Silent, quick, futuristic. But just 3 years in, poof, GM shut it down. They recalled every EV1 and crushed most of them. Drivers protested, some cried, others chained themselves to cars, but it didn't matter. GM said demand was low and production too expensive. Still, rumors flew. Some said oil companies leaned in. That nickel metal hydride battery tech, part owned by GM, suddenly got locked down. Conspiracy? Maybe. Or maybe timing just sucked. But here's the weird part. The EV1 worked. It could have changed everything, decades before Tesla showed up. Instead, it vanished, buried in desert lots and government archives. What killed it? Money, power, or fear? The EV1 didn't just disappear, it was erased. And the question still drives people mad. What if they let it live? Number 11. Victor Shawberger's implosion engine. Victor Shawberger didn't look to machines for answers. He looked to fish. As a forest warden in Austria, he studied water, motion, and flow. He noticed trout could hover motionless in rushing streams. Why? He said it was implosion. Nature pulls in, not pushes out. From this, he created the Repulsene, a bizarre spinning craft using vortex air and water flow. He believed it could generate lift without heat, noise, or pollution. In World War II, the Nazis forced him to work on this tech. Post-war, the United States took interest. He came to America, but when he left, he said they'd stolen everything. He died in 1958, bitter and broke. His machines never reappeared. Blueprints were lost. The Repulsene, gone. Some say it worked. That Shawberger found clean, limitless propulsion. Others say it was pseudoscience at best. But his ideas, vortex energy, implosive motion, still inspire fringe researchers. Nature never explodes, he said. It spirals, it pulls. So did someone steal his spiral, or did it spin into myth? Either way, Shawberger's name lingers wherever alternative energy dares to swirl. Number 10. Lester Hendershots' fuelless motor. Lester Hendershot wasn't hunting energy, he was building a better compass. But in 1928, while working on aircraft navigation, he claimed to discover a way to generate power without fuel. His Hendershot generator was said to tap into the Earth's magnetic field, producing continuous electricity. No wires, no gas, no sun. He showed it to military officials. Even aviation legend Charles Lindbergh saw it in action. Lights blinked on, motors spun, all from a box with coils and capacitors. But the buzz turned sour. Hendershot was denied patents. Critics called it impossible. Then strange things happened. Threats, break-ins, sabotage. His research vanished. Some say he was warned off. That energy giant stepped in. Hendershot's life spiraled. Financial trouble, health issues. He died in 1961, and his generator died with him. To this day, no one's replicated it convincingly. But blueprints leak online, passed around in forums and garages. Was he a fraud, or was his tech too disruptive to survive? A motor with no fuel sounds crazy, unless someone else already made it vanish. Number 9. Joseph Newman's energy machine. Joseph Newman didn't ask for much, just a rewrite of physics. In the late 1970s, he built what he called the Newman energy machine. It supposedly produced more energy than it consumed, the kind of thing that breaks thermodynamic laws. Perpetual motion? He said yes. The government said no. When he applied for a patent, the United States Patent Office rejected it. The National Bureau of Standards tested the device. Verdict? It didn't work. But Newman didn't stop. He took out ads, did TV interviews, even drove a motorhome across the country to prove his point. Some scientists backed him. Others called it nonsense. The media turned him into a folk hero or a madman. Legal troubles followed. The SEC came after him. His company crumbled. Newman died in 2015, still swearing he had solved the world's energy crisis. His machine? Gone. Some say it was all smoke and magnets. Others believe the truth was buried under red tape and ridicule. But one thing's certain, Newman shook the system, and not everyone liked what he was powering up. Number 8. Edward Leeds Colins' Coral Castle. In the sweltering heat of Florida, one man built a castle, alone. No cranes, no forklifts, just pulleys, ropes, and sheer will, supposedly. Edward Leeds Colin, a Latvian immigrant barely over 5 feet tall, spent 28 years stacking 1,100 tons of coral rock into towers, gates, and chairs. He never let anyone watch him work. Some said he sang to the stones. Others swore he used magnetism. He claimed he knew the secrets of the ancient Egyptians, secrets about weight and balance the world had forgotten. The centerpiece? A 9-ton gate that swung with a finger's push. No mortar, no cracks, still standing today. Leeds Colin published cryptic pamphlets on magnetism, but he never fully explained how he moved those stones. After his death in 1951, Coral Castle became a mystery magnet. Engineers tried to figure it out. No one truly could. Was it engineering genius or lost tech at play? People still whisper about anti-gravity and Earth energy. Because when one tiny man moves mountains without machines, you start to question what's really possible. Number 7. Wilhelm Reich's Cloudbuster. Wilhelm Reich didn't just claim to harness orgone energy, he said he could change the weather with it. The device? The Cloudbuster. A strange collection of long metal pipes pointed toward the sky, grounded in water. Reich believed this setup could draw orgone from the atmosphere and, in doing so, bring rain. In 1953, during a severe drought in Maine, 2 farmers called him in. Reich set up the Cloudbuster, and the next day, it rained. Crops were saved. But the government didn't celebrate. Instead, the FDA cracked down. They said orgone was nonsense, and Reich's machines were dangerous. They ordered all his books, devices, and papers destroyed. Reich refused to back down. He was arrested, sentenced to prison, and died behind bars in 1957. The Cloudbuster vanished into history. Was it science, coincidence, or something more? Weather control sounds like fiction, but so did electricity once. Number 6. Viktor Grabbenov's anti-gravity platform. Viktor Grabbenov wasn't an engineer, he was a bug guy, an entomologist in Russia, But in 1988, he claimed he stumbled onto something bizarre. While studying beetle wings under a microscope, he noticed strange, repeating patterns, microstructures that seemed to defy gravity. He said objects placed above them levitated. So he built a platform using these levitating cells, and according to Grabbenovs, it flew, silently, fast, without inertia. He described gliding above the ground inside a gravity bubble, but he never released blueprints, only rough sketches. He said people weren't ready. Skeptics dismissed it as fantasy. No photos, no proof, just stories. But here's the kicker. Grabbenovs described anti-gravity effects that match theories being explored today in advanced physics. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe his bug wing discovery was real, and just too weird to fit inside a lab. He died in 2001, his secrets buried with him. But some fringe researchers still chase his work, asking, if nature has already figured out how to float, who's to say one curious scientist didn't just copy it? Number 5. Charles Pogues' Super Carburetor. In the 1930s, Canadian mechanic Charles Nelson Pogue claimed he built a carburetor that could make cars run 200 miles per gallon. Not electric, not hydrogen, just better gas usage. His design vaporized gasoline more completely, squeezing out every drop of energy. He even got patents, real ones like United States patent number 1,750,354. Reports say he demoed it with a 1932 Ford that drove 200 miles on a gallon. But that's where the story hits the brakes. The carburetor never hit the market. Suddenly, Pogues' invention vanished. Some say oil companies stepped in. Others point to the timing. Lead was added to gasoline around then, which would clog vaporizing carbs like Pogues. Coincidence or clever sabotage? Pogue backed away from the high mileage claims later in life, saying the press blew it up, but rumors stuck. That maybe someone bought him out or scared him off. The idea of a car barely sipping fuel, that kind of thing threatens entire industries. Number 4. James Greer's anti-stealth radar. James Greer, an inventor from Alabama, thought he cracked a code in 2000, a radar system that could detect stealth aircraft. You know, the kind of planes designed to vanish off screens. He filed a patent. But before the ink dried, the United States government stepped in. Under the Invention Secrecy Act, they slapped a secrecy order on it. For 8 years, Greer wasn't allowed to discuss, develop, or sell his invention. Not even to private companies. His tech, his potential, locked in a legal black box. When the order finally lifted in 2008, it was too late. The momentum was gone. Investors moved on. Applications were missed. Greer's lawyer argued the government buried a civilian breakthrough. But the official story? National security. Some say it was routine procedure. Others whisper it was about control. Because if his system worked, it might not just spot stealth jets. It could have revolutionized civilian navigation and communications too. We still don't know where the prototype is, or if it ever flew. But one thing's for sure, silence was enforced by law. Number 3. The Damjanovich's missile shield. Budimir and Desanka Damjanovich were inventors from Detroit. In 2007, they filed a patent for a simple yet powerful idea: spray a special mist behind a plane to confuse heat-seeking missiles. Smart, cheap, potentially life-saving. But once again, the United States government swooped in. Their invention was slapped with a secrecy order under the same old Invention Secrecy Act. The couple couldn't talk about it, develop it, or profit from it. For years, their work was locked down. When the order was lifted, they took legal action, suing the Air Force. They argued it violated free speech, took away property without fair compensation. The case dragged on. Eventually, in 2015, the government paid them a quiet $63,000 settlement. A win? Maybe. But compared to what their invention could have been worth, peanuts. Was it about protecting military tech? Or another case of inventors getting frozen out? Either way, their missile shield never got deployed. The skies stayed unsafe, and 2 inventors were forced to move on. Not because the idea failed, but because it flew too close to the wrong radar. Number 2. The phaser phone. In 1978, a team of inventors created something called the phaser phone, a cheap, compact voice obfuscation device. In plain English, a phone call scrambler, something that made conversations private and untraceable. At only $200, it had the potential to put secure communication into everyone's hands. Problem? The NSA hated it. They dropped a secrecy order on the phaser phone fast. Under the Invention Secrecy Act, it couldn't be developed, sold, or even discussed. By the time media pressure forced the order to be lifted later that year, it was too late. The inventors missed the window to file international patents. They managed to get one in Canada. In 1980, the United States patent was finally granted, and the phaser phone briefly made headlines. But it was already over. The NSA's freeze had killed the momentum. Some say it was national security. Others say it was about control, keeping power in the hands of the few. Whatever the reason, the phaser phone disappeared. The world went digital, and mass surveillance exploded, and a $200 privacy tool that could have changed everything scrambled into silence. Number 1. James Constant's radar tracking tech. Back in 1969, James Constant developed a smart tracking system, early radar tech designed to monitor moving objects on conveyor belts and shipping lines. It had military potential too. But shortly after applying for a patent, the United States government dropped a secrecy order on it. For 2 years, he couldn't talk about it, build it, or sell it. When the gag order lifted in 1971, the damage was done. Constant tried to sue for losses, saying the delay ruined his shot at success. But in 1982, a court denied him compensation, claiming he lacked the business skills to make it work anyway. Critics say the case proves how secrecy laws can stifle civilian innovation in the name of defense. Supporters say it's just the price of national security. Either way, Constant's radar tech got shelved while others moved forward. His chance at changing how goods and weapons were tracked, gone in the shuffle. And the bigger question remains: how many more inventions like his were silenced before they ever got a chance? The deeper we dig, the stranger it gets. And trust me, these weren't accidents. If you want more hidden inventions and untold truths they don't want you to hear, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. Please add that in front of all numbered segments. We spell out all numbers within scripts, the way that you would say the number in conversation. For example, June 16th would actually June 16th. Please go back through here and fix all numbers.